In a world where average fades, only the relentless rise. You're stepping into a new standard. Strength, purpose, leadership. This is the Chad Miller Fitness Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to go a little more personal and build off the episode last week, except this one is a little deeper. It's about big moments in life that matter. There are moments in life where you just know. No overthinking, no second guessing, just a surge of clarity that hits you like a lightning bolt. And in that moment, you either make the move or you miss it. I call these pivotal points. Moments when life holds up a mirror and asks, are you going to stay in this version of yourself or are you ready to become more? Today's episode, Pivots in Purpose, Life's Big Moments That Matter. And I've had a few of those myself. Some of them nearly broke me, some of them built me, but every single one of them forced a decision. Today I want to share some of my biggest pivotal points with you, not because my story is special, but because I want you to recognize your own moments of clarity when they come. Because let's be real, we all get these moments, these lightning bolts of knowing exactly what to do, but most people ignore them. They rationalize them away, they wait for a better time, more money, or the perfect plan. And that's how dreams die. That's how you wake up at 50 wondering where your life went. So let's dive in. The first one was my pivotal point of 2009, walking away from success. In 2009, I had what most people would call a great job. Corporate, high-paying, successful. I had the title, the paycheck, the respect. On paper, I was winning, but every day I felt like it was sucking the life out of me. I'd walk into that building and feel my soul get a little quieter, my passion dimmer, like I was slowly disappearing into someone else's version of success. You know that feeling when you're doing what you're supposed to do, but something inside you is screaming that this isn't it. I remember sitting in those daily morning sales meetings and all I could think about was, is this what I'm going to do for the next 30 years? The money was good, the benefits were solid, my family was proud, but I was dying inside. And then came the moment. I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the car in the parking lot, staring at the building I've walked into for years, and I felt this wave of clarity wash over me. Not a thought, but a knowing, deep in my gut. If I didn't walk away, I was going to become someone I didn't even recognize. There was a book by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Workweek, and in that book, I remember, now I'm paraphrasing here, it was along the lines of something of the fat man in the BMW. And I saw myself 10 years in the future, still sitting at that desk, still pretending to care about things that didn't matter to me, still sacrificing my soul for a paycheck. And I just knew. So I did the thing most people wouldn't. I walked in there and I left the job, the title, the paycheck, and started my first gym business with no backup plan, no safety net, just belief. People thought I was crazy. You're throwing away a great career, they said. You'll regret this. But I didn't regret it. Because I listened to that inner voice, that moment of clarity. And here's what I learned. When you get that lightning bolt of knowing, you have a small window to act. Because if you don't act fast, doubt creeps in, fear takes over, and you start making excuses. The law of diminishing intent is real. Every second you wait after a moment of clarity, the less likely you are to follow through. The next pivotal point for me was rock bottom and belief mode. So fast forward to 2015 and life hit harder. Divorce papers, a broken family, everything I thought I'd built came crashing down. I actually moved into my brother's basement, eating cereal out of the box, drinking at night trying to numb the pain so I could go to sleep. I was a business owner in a small town going through a very public divorce. It was humiliating, but more than that, it was clarifying. There's something about rock bottom that strips away all the static, all the excuses, all the what ifs. I remember lying on that basement floor, staring at the ceiling, and I had another one of those moments, another pivotal point. I saw two paths. Path one, keep spiraling into pain, keep feeling sorry for myself, keep blaming circumstances and other people for where I ended up. Or path two, rise up and build something awesome from the ashes. And in that moment, I knew this wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. In a way, that was the moment Belief Mode was born, the title of a book I would write years later. I committed to rebuilding not just my body, my entire identity. I stopped waiting for someone to save me. I stopped praying for easier and asked for stronger. I built the kind of life I'd be proud for my kids to watch me create. But here's the key. I acted on that clarity immediately. I didn't wait to feel better or for circumstances to improve. I started that day. I got off that basement floor and went for a run. Not because I felt like it, but because the future version of me would do it. I started writing, started reading, started rebuilding my mindset brick by brick, and slowly everything changed. But it all started with that moment of clarity, that pivotal point where I chose to become the hero of my own story instead of the victim. Now let's go to my most recent pivotal point. It was a venture that made massive impact. And oddly enough, this moment of clarity happened at my oldest daughter's graduation party. I had another one of these moments. A business opportunity came my way that was way outside my comfort zone. It required new skills, new leadership, new sacrifice. It meant stepping into a world I didn't fully understand yet. Part of me was telling to wait until I felt ready, to gather more information and create a perfect plan. But I'd learned something from my previous pivotal points. When you know, and I knew. So I made the decision fast. No overthinking, no endless pros and cons list. I aligned myself with the team led by the #1 performer in the entire state out of over 17,000 people in that industry. And guess what? My first year, I learned everything I could from him, and I finished #9 in the state of over 17,000 people in our industry, putting me not just at the top 1 percentile, but putting me in the top 5% of the people already in the 1 percentile, the best of the best. That move changed the trajectory of my family's future. But here's what would have happened if I'd waited. Someone else would have taken that spot. That opportunity would have passed me by, and I'd be sitting here wondering what if. That's what happens when you say yes to what's calling you, even when it's scary. Now let me be real with you. There is a cost of ignoring your inner voice. For me, there were other moments where I didn't act fast enough, and I'll give you an example of that. So a while back, I once had a manager running one of my gyms who just wasn't cutting it. The gym was messy, the culture was off, and my gut said, you need to make a change. We were even getting bad reviews on Google, but I delayed. I gave too many chances, tried to talk it through instead of acting on what I already knew. I told myself I was being patient, giving him a fair shot, being a good leader, but really, I was avoiding a difficult decision. Eventually, I had to let him go, and it cost me more because I waited. The damage to the culture was deeper. The impact on the gym really paid the price, and I lost a lot of good members because I didn't trust my instincts. That's the danger of ignoring your inner voice. That's the danger of waiting for things to feel easier or more convenient. The longer you wait after a moment of clarity, the less likely you are to act. Fear creeps in, doubt takes over, and you start convincing yourself that maybe you were wrong. But you weren't wrong, you were just scared. Now I want to talk to you about a trap that clouds your clarity that in today's world is so prominent, the illusion of busy. And I'm guilty of this myself. For years, I thought if I just did more, I'd get more. 5 a.m. alarms, 14-hour days, always grinding, always moving. But all I was doing was avoiding stillness, avoiding clarity, avoiding truth. I was so busy being busy that I couldn't hear my own inner voice anymore. And that's what almost stole my peace. Because busy isn't the goal, alignment is. I'm going to say that again. This is really important. Busy isn't the goal, alignment is. You can grind yourself into the ground, but if you're grinding in the wrong direction, you're just wearing yourself out for nothing. The most successful people I know aren't the busiest. They're the most aligned. They listen to their inner voice. They act on their moments of clarity, and they don't mistake action for progress. So how do you know you're having one of these moments? First, it feels different than regular decision making. It's not analytical. It's not logical. It's a deep knowing that comes from your gut, not your head. Second, it usually involves some level of discomfort. If it felt easy and safe, it wouldn't be a pivotal point. It would just be another day. Third, there's urgency to it. Like if you don't act now, the window will close. And finally, it usually requires you to become someone you haven't been before, to step into a bigger version of yourself. These moments are gifts. They're God's way of directing you towards purpose, but they come with an expiration date. And whether you realize it or not, your moment is coming. Maybe you're at your own pivotal point right now. Maybe something in your gut is screaming, it's time. Time to leave the thing that's draining you. Time to launch the thing that's been on your heart. Time to finally say no more to being average. Maybe it's leaving a relationship that's slowly killing your soul. Maybe it's starting a business you've been talking about forever. Or maybe it's finally investing in your health to make a transformation that will ultimately save your life. Whatever it is, you know what it is. And here's your reminder. Like I said on the last episode about indecision, you don't need another podcast. You don't need another plan. You don't need more information. You need a decision, because there will never be a right time to make a bold move. You will never feel fully prepared to step into your calling. The greatest risk is not taking one and looking back knowing you missed it. I share this with you today because we all need these reminders. The biggest failure we can experience in our lives is chasing someone else's definition of success at the expense of our own happiness and fulfillment. Because when you get there and chase what other people want for you, it's a hollow victory. You get there only to realize you don't even recognize the face in the mirror anymore. There are no amount of toys, checks, or cheap pleasures that can fill up that empty void. The void of taking someone else's path. The void of untapped potential and desire. So remember, there is no loss in going for it. Stop waiting for permission. Stop pretending tomorrow is guaranteed. You've got one shot at this life. Take action, set the standard, step into belief mode. As I close out today, I encourage you to listen to that inner voice. This is how you build momentum. This is how you escape the safe havens of your comfort zone and create meaningful purpose. Your pivotal point is coming. Maybe it's already here. The question is, will you listen to it, or will you let it pass by? This is Chad Miller. Trust your inner knowing, act on clarity, and remember, you're not here to play small. You're here for something much bigger. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode.
You just listened to the Chad Miller Fitness Podcast, where men rise with discipline, clarity, and action.